Well, the riders are on the line, the crowd is out in force, and sadly it's started to rain here in Aberystwyth after what has been a beautiful afternoon. But it's time to get this race underway. It's round 3 of the Tour Series, and your commentary team are Hugh Porter and Brian Smith.
Thank you very much indeed, Jill. Well, that's not good news, is it? The rain falling, but of course we're used to wet roads here in Aberystwyth, and we always have a fantastic event full of excitement. Well, this is the 5th time we've visited this Welsh coastal town. First time was back in 2011, and over the years Ed Clancy has been the individual winner twice, Christian House has won once, and then the last time we were here, Felix English won by a whisker from John Mould. Now then, alongside me, Brian Smith to guide us through the course.
Already we've been seeing a lot of the riders pushing and shoving to start this event right at the front. It's important because the rain coming down makes a few of these corners very slippery. We're just heading around the back side of the course at this moment, and we'll be soon heading slightly downhill onto the new promenade. It will sweep right hand onto the promenades. We'll have the castle on the right hand side, but this rain might mean that we might see some thrills and spills. It's a right hander into the finishing area, and we've seen from the past, we've seen some crashes on that corner particularly.
Yes, you just made a reference to the finishing area. There's a little pinch point as they swing right off the promenade, and you've got to get in the right position. There's the Cornish sprinter, and that's Chris Opie riding for One Pro Cycling. They are now wearing the leaders' jerseys. That's the Perlazumi Tour Series leaders' jerseys after their success in the hill climb.
On the left-hand side, you can just see the yellow helmets of a JLT Condor. And just seeing the left, who Hugh referred to, Ed Clancy, who's won 2 individual rounds of his own rides here in Aberystwyth.
He loves this course, Brian. It's his velodrome, if you like, and he gets himself into the right positions. He's got the race face on tonight, so I expect him to be involved in the mix.
So Tobin Horton just under a little chat with the points leader, and that's Tom Stewart. They lost the leader's jersey to this team here, One Pro Cycling. Chris Opie, you can just see the concentration on his face.
And just behind Opie in the green and black, riding for Pedal Heaven, is Alex Payton. And Pedal Heaven really have been the revelation so far.
They have done fantastic, and expecting a big performance from Griff Lewis. Just also just to the left of the motorbike there, you can just see the red sleeves of the Wiggins team, and they have been very disappointed right at the bottom of the leaders boards. And Chris Lawless, although has done a good ride in the hill climb earlier on today, it's going to be difficult for Wiggins to get off that bottom slot.
Well, that was that right-hander, and I said, didn't I, it was a pinch point, and it certainly is. Now then, look at them. The motorbike is moving away, and already the riders are really eager to get on with this.
They know this course is very slippy, so that's why they have to get as far to the front as possible. Already a problem for one of the Rally GSE riders.
And we've just come off the cobbled section as we look at Lawless here, riding for Team Wiggins, and riding his wheel is the Australian Criterium champion, Steele Van Hoff, who has been very quiet so far in the first 2 rounds.
We have been expecting a little bit more from Steele Van Hoff, the Australian Criterium specialist, but it's Lawless. He's pretty much on his own because I can't really see any more of the Wiggins team in this front group.
Well, the inclement weather certainly hasn't deterred the crowds. They've flocked out once again in their thousands, and they're really licking their lips at the thought of a great contest ahead. Lawless it is at the front, just dancing on the pedals, trying to stretch the field out.
Well, the field is already stretching as we go into the points lap. The klaxon is gone, so everybody knows that the points are way up for grabs next time round on the finish.
Well, the situation after the first 2 rounds, it's a tie for the lead in the Chain Reaction Cycles points jersey, and those 2 riders are Morgan Kanitsky of Rally GAC and Tom Stewart of Madison Genesis. They've both got 24 points, so I'm expecting to see these 2 involved in the mix at the front.
It's still Lawless at the front for Team Wiggins. In second place, James Losley Williams for NFTO. And in third place, you've got the Madison Genesis rider, Tobin Horton.
Well, the riders are brimming over with confidence here, despite the fact that the top surface in places is pretty glacial. They are throwing caution to the wind, and still on the front it's Lawless, as riders are beginning to look back over the shoulder as they're gathering themselves now ready for this first sprint.
You can just see Kaniski coming up to second place there. He has featured very well in Reddish in the points competition in the previous round, so he's possibly looking to get some good points here in the finish.
Look further down the line, see whether you can see Tom Stewart. He's wearing that white and blue jersey as the leader of the points competition, but it's Kanitsky that's now gathering himself and looking to try and add some valuable points to his overnight tally. Coming up to that tight corner, and Kanitsky's in the perfect position here. He's got James Losley Williams of NFTO Pro Cycling right at the side of him as well, and it's Williams that's going to come by him. Williams setting himself up for the 5, Kanitsky over the line second for the 4. Stewart was in the shake-up. We'll confirm the result, but that already is an indication that the Frenchman is here to try and get that jersey back.
A very close finish there as we see the confirmed result.
Yeah, early leader in the competition is Kanitsky, but you can see the fact that he's taken 2 points away from the overnight leader that ties with him, and that is Stewart. So it's France v Yorkshire then for that particular competition.
It's all in one long line, and gaps starting to appear at the back of the peloton.
Lots more racing to come. Don't go away. Well, welcome back, and this race really has imploded now. Tom Stewart on the front, positioning himself ready to attack for the points in sprint number 2.
You've got to remember this is a team competition, and just look at the orange helmets. Looks as if there is about 4 or 5 of them in this front group, about 20 riders, but it's still Tom Stewart thinking of these points coming up to this Claxon lap.
He's still smarting after being outwitted in sprint number 1 then by Kanitsky, but I'm looking down the line and I can't see Kanitsky at the moment. It's Stewart at the front, young Zach May's second wheel, third is Chris Lawless, fourth is Ed Clancy as they sweep round the right-hander, and they're coming up to the line for the Claxon.
Yeah, the Claxon will sound. Tom Stewart still leading the way, and I can actually see 4 of his teammates in the orange helmets behind. So the Claxon goes. This is the sprint lap.
Now then, Stewart is determined to hang on to the front position. He's at the business end of the contest, and the pressure being applied is causing the field to fragment. That front group has thinned down dramatically.
It has, you, and there's 5 riders in there from a Madison Genesis, smarting possibly from getting beat in the hill climb this afternoon. Does look as if they're riding well in this circuit race tonight. Just look at the white jerseys of the One Pro Cycling. They only have 3 in this front group.
As I mentioned earlier, Ed Clancy has come here with the race face on, and he's showing already. Remember, he's won this event twice, looking for a hat-trick. He's had 6 wins overall in the history of the Tour Series. But Stewart is brimming over with confidence here. He's so confident, he's leading them out for a whole lap. He's determined to pick up the full 5 points.
So Tom Stewart on the front in second place. NFTO have got Zach May in there. Lawless in there for the Wiggins team.
Well, it's Stewart, the flying Yorkshireman, that's causing the damage. He really is applying the pressure, and the rest can only cling to his coattails, and the fallout's quite dramatic behind as this front group continues to thin down. Coming along the promenade here, he takes a look to see who's in his wheel. It's still young Zach May and Lawless and Clancy. There's been no change at all in that formation as they're going to pick up some back markers right on the turn into the finishing straight. Right on the front again, Stewart powering his way all the way up to the line. Nobody's going to deny him the 5 points.
Takes there, 5 points on the line there. Zach May in second, Lawless in third. Looks like Clancy in fourth for JLT Condor.
So Stewart has picked up 5 useful points there, and I didn't see any evidence of Kanitsky. We'll wait for the caption to confirm it. Here it is then. Stewart got it for 5. May second got the 4. Lawless 3. Clancy the 2. And Losley Williams picking up the 1. Great riding there then by the Yorkshireman. Now it means after 2 sprints that Tom Stewart is leading with 7 points, and you can see that Kanitsky is down in 4th spot with 4. Stewart then, the 25-year-old, is in imperious form, and he's loving this course in Aberystwyth.
Yeah, this is a strong performance from young Tom Stewart, the Yorkshireman, but it's really devastated this front group here.
They're weaving their way once again around the course. It's almost in slalom fashion, isn't it? And it looks to me as though the roads are beginning to dry out a little bit, and that will enable them to go even quicker. There's the thin line, and you can see how it's breaking up. Still at the front is the leader, Stewart. He doesn't even want any help.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to take it from the front. Just saw a slight reaction from Ed Clancy, just slipping out ever so slightly in that corner. This group looks to have swelled, but I think a lot of the riders towards the back of this group are already lapped.
Yeah, there's 3 there from One Pro Cycling. Oh, look at this for a crash. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, going down there is Stephen Williams, the 18-year-old on pedal heaven. And who else has he took down? That's Janto Barker.
Barker's there for the leaders, One Pro Cycling, so they did have 3 riders in that front group. Now they look as if losing Janto Barker, the Welshman, they're down to 2, so the team competition tonight could be slipping away from them.
Certainly could. Madison Genesis at the moment are the stronger of the leaders, but that was some crash. Let's take another look.
It's just sliding out. We just noticed that Ed Clancy in a previous corner slipped ever so slightly, so it is Stephen Williams, who done tremendously well in the afternoon's hill climb down in the deck with Janto Barker.
Alex Payton was delayed as well. He had to brake hard, but he didn't fall. But now, due to that fall, this front group has thinned down even more.
You just see Tobin Horton towards the back for Madison Genesis, just telling his other teammates just to keep it easy, slow it down. It's getting very dangerous out there as John Mould comes to the front. Very close second place from Felix English last year. He'll want to try and win this individual round tonight.
Well, Lawless of Team Wiggins was gesticulating at a couple of riders there. I don't quite know what he was saying, but he was making some comment. But Mould only lost this event by a whisker last year in the sprint then to Felix English, and he's right here in the front group.
So the crash has depleted the front of this race. Harper, the hill climb winner, just at the back for the leaders, One Pro Cycling. But just look at the orange helmets. They've got 4 in this front group, and I can just see 1 just about to come onto the back.
Yeah, there are 1 or 2 making their way back up then to the tail end of, oh, well, I was going to call it a peloton, but it's like a small breakaway, isn't it?
The conditions are really hampering the riders in this course in Aberystwyth. This is again James Losley Williams for NFT at the front. Looks to be cornering very well. And Rally GAC, I've got 1 rider up there. This looks like it's Kaniski now sitting in second place.
Well, Kaniski will be fully aware of the fact that he missed out dramatically in sprint number 2. He's going to try and make up for it in sprint 3. Well, Losley Williams has certainly been putting himself about in this stage here in Aberystwyth. He won the first sprint, he finished 5th in sprint number 2. Now they may come up to line for the klaxon for the 3rd points counter in the Chain Reaction Cycles points jersey competition.
You can just see Tom Stewart there in that leader's jersey. He's been causing a lot of damage. Just look at the size of this group. Can be only 15, 16 riders, but the orange helmets are there in force. Also, NFTO looks as if they've got about 2, possibly 3 riders in this front group.
So Kaniski, the triple world track champion, has positioned himself really well here near the front. I wonder if he's recovered from that situation in Redditch when he got the victory sewn up, sat up, let Mould past. I bet he's had nightmares about that since, but now it's Lawless that comes through for Team Wiggins.
Yeah, Lawless going into this bend very quickly onto the promenades, and he really wants to gain some more points there. Kaniski in second, John Mould in third, but this is a reaction behind. A lot of riders have been caught out and are trying to chase, so this is the second group on the road.
And it's Lawless, the 19-year-old for Team Wiggins at the front. Oh, look at this, another crash. Lawless has gone down, greasy road, and the rest have all gone into him.
The thing is, it's not like football, Hugh. The race continues. No time out whatsoever. So unfortunately for Lawless, he has hit the deck, but straight back to the front of the race is John Mould and Ed Clancy.
I'll tell you what a brace of riders then are clear now. Lawless is still on the deck. I reckon he's winded himself there, but it was due to the greasy conditions. Parts of the course have dried, others are wet. And it's Mould at the front, who was the king of the sprinters in the competition last year, leading out Ed Clancy, the double Olympic gold medalist. So Clancy, who hailed originally from Huddersfield, finishes second, with Mould clinching the 5 points. And in third spot, Tobin Horton from Madison Genesis.
So just over 44 minutes of racing now, really into the sharp end of this race. You can just see these crashes have devastated this peloton.
This is astonishing, isn't it? They're all over the place, but there's the result of sprint number 3. Mole got the 5 from Clancy 4, Tobin Horton the 3, the 2 went to Mike Northey, and Zach May picked up the 1, as we now see Lawless getting underway. That is the situation after the 3 sprints. Stewart is in the lead by 1 point from Lawless, and he's time with Lowesley Williams. Ed Clancy has 6, Zach May 5, and Jonathan